And welcome back, folks. This is U.S. Home Talk. Jason Walgrave here with Walgrave Real Estate Group and the Minnesota Real Estate Team. We've got the magician of mortgages, Mortgage Michael Overson with Luminate Bank here as well. We've got the great Marcus Walgrave with Hague Realtors out of the Sioux Falls Empire Real Estate Market. And then we have our unmatched, unbelievable producer, Evan Little. Thank you, Evan, for doing what you do. He's also with Paragon, folks, our insurance expert as well. Folks, welcome back. USHometalk.com, best way to get hold of us anytime during the week. We've got a real estate hotline number, 612-234-7585. We're finishing up. We started last week, first-time home sellers, things to do, your to-do list. Started that last week. We'll finish up today. You're a first-time home buyer, getting ready to sell your house. Folks, whether you're thinking about doing that in the next month, the next 6 months, the next year, the next 2 years, we want to talk to you now. We want to walk through your home with you, talk about recommendations, suggestions, things that you should do or you shouldn't do. I oftentimes, Marcus, and I know you do too, will be walking through the seller, and they are just dead set on something that they have to do, and they're convinced. It's usually one of them is convinced and the other one isn't. And we want to walk through and say, no, you don't need to do that. That's not a big deal. However, you should do this. We talk about the things that are most important. We're going to finish up some of those recommendations this week. Again, best way to get a hold of us is our website, ushometalk.com. Our real estate hotline number is 612-234-7585. All right. Let's go back to recommendations, your to-do list. You're a first-time home seller. Clean the carpet. Polish the hardwood floors. We talked about last week doing that deep clean, right? Carpet shampooing, folks, it's important, especially if you have a bunch of kids and pets, like Marcus and I do. Overson, he's just got a whole bunch of kids. He doesn't have any pets yet.
I got pets. Humans.
But you got pet fish.
Yeah, I got some fish. Hey, I tell you what, I'm probably the only person in Dakota County that's got snapping turtles as pets.
That's pretty good.
I got 4 snapping turtles.
Little ones?
Yeah, we got them. We found them as babies, freshly hatched babies, and we've had them since last July. So they're a little bit bigger now. They're still not too big, but we got 4 snappers that we'll have to release this year because they'll get too big. But
it is. Well, I mean, and you kind of have tiger musky pets. I mean, you catch them, they're your pet for 5 or 10 minutes, and then you release them.
Yeah,
right.
Then I got that too. Right.
You do have that too. But carpet shampooing is important. Polishing the floors. Sometimes hardwood floors are so beat up that we recommend that you have them refinished. That's a big project. It's expensive. Usually you can get by with just a deep clean and a really good polish. But the carpet shampooing can be really effective. I've seen many times. I've seen carpets that the seller's like, oh man, we got to replace the carpet. They had it shampooed first, and they didn't have to replace it because the shampooing worked that well. So cleaning the carpet's important, and it's on one of your to-do lists. A part of that can be cleaning the fabrics. And so, even though personal property like furniture and stuff is not, doesn't generally stay with the sale of a home, if you've got that couch that you love and you're not getting rid of it because it's so comfortable, but you got some stains on it, little things like that can make a difference, right? And so maybe consider having the fabrics or the couches cleaned as well. Got any stains on your couch, Mike?
We just got new couches a couple months ago, which surprises me that we don't have stains on them yet, the way our kids treat them, to be honest with you. So I can confidently say no for now, just because they're basically brand new couches and the kids just haven't quite destroyed them yet.
Not yet.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
I was adamant when we got furniture and we have children and pets, and I was adamant about no furniture unless it was leather.
Yep.
And that's what we have. We have only leather in the house, and like toothpaste, but that comes off in the chocolate that got melted, that comes off, and so it's a little bit easier of a wipe down, and and it doesn't hang on to any kind of pet odors. So
Yeah, leather's great. They last long,
Yep.
super comfortable. Folks, talking about as a first-time home seller, your to-do list. If you got any unfinished projects, let's finish them up, right? I mean, I think most of us do. You know, we've got some things that aren't quite finished, and whether it's maybe you started working on that basement bathroom and it's 80% done, but it just the trim isn't up, or there's, you know, it's just not finished. You got to finish the little projects. If you don't have the time, we've got fantastic resources, handyman resources, and contractors. But again, this is about presentation. Are we presenting your home in the best possible light that we can? An unfinished project will not allow us to do that. So finish up those projects. Maybe some of them you've been working on for many years. So talking about first-time home sellers and the to-do list. Rearrange your furniture, or even better yet, have staging done. We work with Melissa Evans at Trend Staging. She will come in, and a part of our listing package, our marketing, is she'll do a consultation, a staging consultation, and just say, hey, we got to move this stuff around, or let's take this down. Let me bring in a couple pieces. You don't necessarily have to have your home staged, but a staging consultation with the furniture and the stuff that you currently have can be really, really effective, not only for when people come in your home, but the photos. And remember, the photos are what get people to come into your home. Mm-hmm. So rearranging furniture or staging recommendations, that's on our list as well. Folks, talking about first-time home sellers, the to-do list. I'm going to go over a couple more, and then we'll jump into the legal minute. You got to uncover the windows, folks. Open the blinds. If you've got... sometimes you go into bedrooms and I don't think the blinds have ever been opened. I mean, the bedroom is clearly for sleeping, no lights coming in, right? you got to open the blinds, and you got to open the window coverings. We want as much light to come through as possible. Pictures are better, it shows better, and it just presents better all the way around. This one is I mean, my wife would definitely agree with this one. I do as well. Just had sellers last week ask me about this. Buy fresh flowers and plants. So they're like, hey, should we put some fresh flowers in the pots besides the front door? Absolutely. It looks great. It looks great. And it looks great in the photos. It's welcoming, right? And so fresh flowers and plants, I think is great to be on this list. All right, we got a few more to do, but let's first go to Jeff O'Brien's Legal Minute.
This is Jeff O'Brien, attorney with Hush Blackwell, with a U.S. Home Talk Legal Minute. Minnesota law goes a long way to protect a person's interest in his or her home. One of these protections is the homestead exemption from judgments. This law presently provides that up to $390,000 of equity in a home is exempt from any judgment creditor. How does this work? Let's say you are sued and the other party gets a judgment against you for $300,000. If you own a home worth $590,000 and have a mortgage of $200,000, your entire equity is exempt from collection. In addition, if you're a married couple and own your home as joint tenants, a 2004 Minnesota Supreme Court case holds that the joint tenancy cannot be severed in order to satisfy a judgment against only one of the joint tenants. These exemptions are very important for business people who often have high-value homes with significant equity and are concerned about protecting their home against business liabilities and personal guarantees. This is Jeff O'Brien, attorney with Hush Blackwell, with a U.S. Home Talk Legal Minute.
All right, folks, we're talking about first-time home sellers, the to-do list. We started this last week, and we're going to finish it up today. Next, create a welcoming entry. What does that mean? Okay, so what's the first thing folks are going to see? They're going to pull up to your house. Curb appeal, front elevation. What are they going to do? They're probably going to go in the front door. So what is the first thing that they feel and they see when they walk in that front door?
Butler.
A butler with fresh cookies and milk, right? Welcome to this home, So, but it, that space, it needs to be welcoming. Certainly needs to be decluttered, right? You don't want that foyer to have stuff in there and make it feel smaller than what it is. But one thing that I think a lot of people overlook is the front door. Okay, does the front door need to be painted? Does it need to be stained? Does the lock and handle work smoothly? does the key open smoothly? Because Marcus, we've been to homes, and you get to that front door, and it's not locking, and it's all sticky, and the door's not. Looks like you need some sound there, Marcus. And so, that's not a great first impression. The agent's all flustered and you can't unlock the door, or you open the front door and it creaks or whatever. So make sure, folks, you make that front entry welcoming. The front door is a big part of that.
Yeah, think about that front door too, right? And I always find it interesting that some sellers, I'll go on some tours and showing some homes to buyer clients, and some sellers, you get into the lockbox, you open it up, no key, garage door code. It says go through the garage door. It's like, okay.
Not welcoming.
I get that's where you guys come in, the homeowner, and that's where these people would go in if they bought the place. However, you're wanting them to go into your garage as the first impression of the home, and then you want to have them go into the mud room or the shoe room or whatever that space is that's coming into the house, and then they gotta, okay, are we in the kitchen? Where's the living room? Like, let them in the front door and get them excited. Like you said, have it be welcoming. Super important. I think so. That front door is a big one.
MTV Cribs. Think of MTV Cribs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do they go through the garage when they're filming that? Hey, here's this house we're just pulling up. It's Jay-Z's house or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Do they go in through the garage and then go into the mudroom coming off the garage right there?
No.
No, they go in the front door.
Yeah, you
Right?
want
It's
them
the most
coming
impressive.
It's the most impressive. You want people coming in the front door, and it, and sometimes unforeseen things happen, right? Maybe it's winter and the lockbox froze or whatever. I mean that happens. Marcus, you're 100% right. I don't want any buyers coming through my listings through the garage. I want them coming through the front door. And so super important. Folks, talking about first-time home sellers, the to-do list. This was a 2-part show, started last week and finishing this week. We got 2 more to talk about. The next one, this one's important, kind of overlooked a lot of times, but have your safety equipment installed and working. What I'm talking about are your smoke detectors and your carbon monoxide detectors, right? If you've got a radon mitigation system, make sure that's up and running and using and working correctly. Last week, we talked about having a home inspection. If you do that, a lot of these items will be called out. But I think smoke detectors only last like 6 or 7 years, or that's their expiration date, right? So get those things fixed now. Get all new ones put in. It's just one less thing you're going to have to worry about. The buyer's going to have to worry about, and you have to. It's not going to come up on the inspection. So make sure you get those things updated and switched out and working. Plus, we don't want to hear it at 3 a.m. in the morning, because that's when the batteries go out, right? Yep.
It is too. Oh
It's
my
in
goodness.
the middle of the
most-
night. It's awful, and you try to
And
pretend like you can't hear it, like it's a bad dream. It'll go away.
And then you can't get it to stop beeping for some reason, and you literally just want to take a sledgehammer out and just smash it.
And it's the one that's 15 feet in the air that you can't reach, so you got to get the big ladder.
Yep.
Ruin your
And
whole
you got to
night.
reset it, which sets them all off.
Sets them all off.
Right.
Wakes
Sets 'em
everybody
off.
up.
I just did that like 2 weeks ago, but one in the hallway in the basement. I'm like, no. Couple kids woke up, that whole dilemma. But Jason, I know you've experienced this too, where you're showing homes and you open up the door and you already have one chirping at you.
Oh, it's brutal.
It is brutal, and like again, the first impressions, or like we understand it's just a battery. Everybody knows it's just a battery.
Yep.
But however, you start thinking in the back of your head, like, when was the last time this house was even, in by the owners? How empty, how vacant? Does anybody check on this house?
Yeah.
Starts kind of cast some doubts in it. Ends up being a little funny, but kind of not funny in the same token too.
No, and it's a terrible sound. And it's every time it goes off, all I'm thinking about is how terrible that sound is, right? So you're distracted. You're not looking at the house. You're just like, oh, am I going to hear that beep again? And so
It's
great.
like that front door when I was muted. You know, like you don't want your clients to be heckling you, asking if this is the first time you showed a house.
Yeah.
And you don't know how to open up a door, and you're getting all sweaty. And so you're excited to tell them about all of the cool features. You know, now you're, you know, you got a little razzled, and so you definitely want to make things, you know, tied up, especially with the smoke detectors.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Last couple of weeks we've been talking about first-time home sellers, the to-do list. We've got one more here to wrap it up. This one's important. This is something that both you and your real estate agent could do some research on and should know. Be aware of recent or upcoming developments, and so not just other homes or home developments, but is the city building new parks? You got anything going on? You know, knowing what's going on in the neighborhood, in the area is important, because you're not just selling your home, you're selling a lifestyle, right? And so what's around you, what's going on? We often talk about, you know, these cool things, these new things that are coming up in the area that our homes are listed, and buyers really like it. So folks, we do appreciate. Oh, go ahead, Marcus.
I was just gonna say how important that piece is, right? I mean, there's you'll hear it from like a managing broker, you know, in terms of like saying, hey, this is a liability. As a licensed real estate agent, you should know what's going on and educate your clients on what they're buying. You know, this idea that they don't have backyard neighbors because it's a cornfield right now, and then in 18 months now it's an apartment that was already had been zoned for it and preliminary plans approved. You know, and you're telling them, no, this is no backyard neighbors. It's like, okay, well, that's going to come back to bite you in the butt for sure. But in terms of like the lifestyle, I literally had the conversation with the city of Sioux Falls. We're seeing a lot of really impressive growth in the Midwest, the Great Plains. You know, you look at our big cities and the markets are hot. You look at the developments. I mean, it's not just like one part of a city. You know, it's developments on the outskirts of almost the north, east, southwest, and that's kind of what we see in Sioux Falls too. I just had a conversation with the planning and development department of down here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Had that question. There was a piece of vacant land. Said, hey, what do you think is going to go here? Well, it's zoned for commercial. Okay, and then he's like, but there's a good chance that it'll probably be the apartment-style apartments that are right next door. Mm-hmm. And then we have a really nice new highway being built just south of Sioux Falls. And so he kind of explained to me why he thought the commercial was going to go a little bit further down to where the intersection was going to happen with the main vein and this highway, and why apartments were going to go there. So I shared that with my clients here this morning, and super excited to know, have at least a general idea of what was going to come up in their backyard, and that's going to come up sooner than later because we have some really good growth down here. So not hard to find. Especially working with a top tier realtor, they probably have a lot of these people on like speed dial, and like, hey, it's me again. I got a question about this parcel. Here you go. What do you think? What's going on with it? And so
it's good stuff. Folks, we've been talking about first-time home sellers, the to-do list, last week and this week. Appreciate you tuning in. Best way to reach us anytime is our website, ushometalk.com. Our real estate hotline number, 24-hour real estate hotline number is 612-234-7585. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next week.